Right. During my international visits, I came across with a lot of interesting factors or interesting habits of people. Right. So, very first is head nod. Right. It is, for example, right. Just going to take a simple example. Right. If I would ask you whether you are going to have a cup of tea, right, and you are not really uh, thinking to say it by word, right? What you are going to do, you are just going to move your face and give a gesture, right? So if you want to say yes, you are going to say like this, right? For in a lot of culture, right? But in some culture, it is totally opposite, right? So again, coming back, if you want to say no, then you are going to say like this. But in some culture, is totally opposite, right? For yes, they are going to move their head like this, right? Which can be a confusing signal for someone who is not aware of, right, of the culture beyond their own area, right? So there he's going to be confused whether he's saying yes or no, right? So head nods is a very peculiar thing of a lot of cultures, right? Then comes hand greetings, right? In some culture, it is uh, customary, right, or custom to shake hands, right? While in some culture, it is for same genders, right? So in Muslim countries, with male and female with female, right? If male with female, totally no, right? Unless you are in university or in a friend circle, right? But in general society, male with male and female with female are going to be are going to be handshaking, right? Or some areas, if it is not it's not handshake, there are going to be other things as well, right? In Asian cultures, you can say kind of bowing down, right? In India, you are saying namaste by combining those hands together, right? While in Middle East, right, males are having kisses on the cheeks, right? Or you can say kind of touching cheeks with the cheeks, right? And sometimes it is very confusing because every Middle Eastern country has a different custom, right? Somewhere in some countries, it is customary one kiss here, one kiss here, total done, right? While in some countries, it is one kiss here, two kisses here, right? So, or it can be one kiss here, going back and coming back, right? While in Qatar, for example, you are touching noses, right? So, totally different, right? Different greeting styles. Every country is a uh, totally different scenario, right? Then comes card sharing, right? So that is again, very important thing because even simple card sharing, if you're not doing it with respect to their culture, right, you have ruined the deal in the very first place, right? So in Asian culture, you're presenting the card, right, with two hands, right? Again, it's not full, or it's not complete yet, right? Because only taking the cards, right, it is not enough, right? You have to read the card, you have to flip the card if there is something at the back, right? So you have to skim through, you have to read the name, you have to read the designation. So if you're spending bit of a time to read that visiting card, right, that means that you are giving importance to the person next to you, right? So this is most of the Asian cultures are having this custom, right? While in some countries, right, so card sharing is just you can say kind of symbol, right, at the end of the meeting, right, when the meeting is culminated and the buyer is going, right, at the end, and even he has left, right? So seller is going to uh, hand over the card to his clerk, right, or his office boy, you can say, right, and will ask that run and just hand the card over to that person, right, and he is going to be running behind that person, right, and will ask that, okay, this is the card of my boss, right, and contact, right, and will say contact whenever you want to, right? So in some cultures it is too, you can say, frank, while in some culture it is taken as very professionally, right? Gift exchange, right? Again, for a lot of Asian culture, right, sharing gift is a custom, right? While in Western society, right, if you're sharing gift, it means that you for some culture, right, it is, you can say, just uh, equivalent to giving a bribe, right? So in a lot of Asian cultures, it was, you can say, customary, right, to exchange gift. For example, Google, right, when they went into China for the very first time, it was already uh, a custom to give gift to all these government officials and to all the partners and to all the clients, right, at their Chinese New Year, right, which they were doing. But when they're, you can say, top management, they saw that they're giving these kind of gifts, right? So and they were totally out of their mind that they are bribing these um, government officials, or say those stopped, and they even gave warnings to their employees that if you are going to repeat this thing, right, we are going to fire you, right? But later on, that was explained that these are not bribe, these are gifts as per our culture. It is our culture to share gift on the festives, right? So it's a lot of culture they have custom of sharing gift, while in some culture it is totally not. While there are a lot of even gifts, what kind of gift you have to take. In some culture it is customary to take flowers, right, or some pen, right, while in some it is take you are taking sweets, right? So totally different, and you have to understand how what kind of culture, what kind of customs are there, right? Fifth one is slurping or drinking tea. That's, or you can say, kind of eating habit, or if I say it right, to make noise while having lunch or while eating. Right, in Asian culture, it is customary that if you are making noise while eating, that means you are enjoying the food. Right, if you are not making noise, that means you are not enjoying the food, and your host is going to be feeling a bit perplexed that he's not enjoying the food, and the food, I think, is not really good, right? If you're making noise, that means it is going to be communicating to your host that you are enjoying, right? While in some cultures, like if you are making sound while having tea, right, it means that you are enjoying the tea, right? While in some cultures, if you have just, you can say, fork and the spoon, ting, right, noise, no, 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 total no, no, right? So again, culture, right? Sixth one is eating habits, right? So a lot of culture there, in a lot of culture there are, um, their eating habits differ, right? While in Asian, for example, in my culture, we have 3 meals a day, right? While in some Far Eastern countries we have five, right? While in some Western countries you have two, right? So eating habits totally different, and that also going to uh, matters you will matter you when you are calling your client, right? Because based on your time zone, based on your time, for example, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it means that from 1 to 2, most of the organization, right, are having lunch time, right? While if you are taking the example of a country which is having 5 meals a day, right, so they are going to take 15 minutes break right in between, right? So they are not going to be taking 1 to 2 as their lunch break, right? So you have to align yourself, right, in communication, in coordination with their eating habits as well, right? Because if you're keeping it yourself, right, and you're trying to communicate or you're trying to contact the person, he might be on his lunch break, right? So eating habits are also very important. So these are six major cross cultural risks, right, or six major very first, you can say, risks when you are interacting with someone who is from another culture. Another thing is personal space, right? So that is also very important, right? Because in some culture, personal space mean how much space, or what is the imaginary boundary near you, right? If that another person who is going to come in that boundary, you are going to be feeling bit of disturbed, right? That, or you are going to be feeling bit a bit you can say kind of not really right, right? That he is way too near to me, right? While in some culture that personal space is very less, like in South American countries, their personal space is very low, right? People are talking to each other very near, right? While in some countries, just go to US, right? Their personal space is very wide, right? So that is also totally going to change the behavior of the person if you are not taking into account their personal space.